One Saturday morning, I was trying to think of a fun family activity that I could do with my girlfriend Rachel. I know, I'll build a birdhouse. I mentioned it to Rachel and she thought it was a great idea. I had a bit of a traditional birdhouse in mind, while Rachel had something a little bit more complex. Sometimes Rachel can be set in her ways, but we discussed it, and finally I was able to bring her around to my way of thinking. She was a little upset at first, but I think she came around to the idea. They say that building a birdhouse is half science and half art, and certainly I think that the best way to attack a project like this is with a great set of plans. The first step was setting up our workshop. I decided to take some tables out into our backyard. These tables are much heavier than they look, but with Rachel's help the job was a lot easier. We set up our workspace, and we were ready to go get our supplies. Rachel offered to drive to the Lowe's, which I thought was very kind of her. But she still must have been a little bit mad about the birdhouse because she told me to ride in the back. Oh well. It was a bit of a bumpy ride, though. We finally made it to the Lowe's. Rachel thought that a nice treated wood would work best for our birdhouse, while I thought a nice pine would be better. We discussed it again, and this time I let Rachel win. Sometimes for a relationship it's best to let the other party win. We also needed some other supplies like nails, but I thought I should probably get those on my own. Fortunately, Rachel is easily distracted, and I was able to sneak away to the nail department. God, I hope she didn't see me. When we returned home, it was pouring down rain, and my plans got a little bit dirty. I cleaned them off as best I could, though, and I still think they're usable. It was time to start cutting the wood. While I was cutting, Rachel got a phone call. Oh, it was for me. She tried to get my attention, but the saw was very loud, so she gave me a tap on the shoulder. This is probably a good time to bring up safety. Even on a small project like this, safety is really important. Otherwise, you can easily have a minor mishap. Rachel was very kind to help me clean out my wound, though, with some rubbing alcohol. I won't lie, it did sting a bit. Finally, we were able to staunch the bleeding, and I put on my best safety gear. I was able to finish cutting, and I had all the pieces I need to finish the birdhouse. I started gluing it, and then it was time to nail it together. Rachel wanted to discuss something with me, but I thought this time this is such a delicate process that I asked her to let me concentrate on it. Finally, my birdhouse was all together. The glue was still wet, though, so I decided to let it dry for a while before I started painting it. I went inside and took a slight nap, but when I came out, unfortunately it looked like the glue was not strong enough, and my birdhouse had fallen apart. Oh well. All in all, we had a really great day, and having a fun family project like building a birdhouse, especially with someone as sweet as Rachel, really made the day worthwhile. So if you're planning on a fun family project, I would highly recommend building a birdhouse. However, I would probably use a stronger glue or stronger nails, or if your significant other is anything like my Rachel, I would probably just go ahead and use her idea of a birdhouse in the first place.